is mine. Lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hey guys, that Leonard Cohen jam that's ringing out from your sedan. That song is about sex. I'm here to school ya. A spiritual but carnal song, no different from Let's Get It On. It ain't a Christmas bop, don't let 'em fool ya. Don't let 'em fool ya. Don't let 'em fool ya. Please this year, please, 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 don't let the pentatonics fool ya.
Let the words of my mouth bring thee praise. Let the words that I speak be seasoned with thy love and grace. May the things, O Lord, that I choose to say bring glory, not shame, to your name each day. Let the words of my mouth bring thee praise. Let the works of my hands bring thee praise. Be what thy son would do if he were to take my place. May my works be part of thy grand design as I humbly surrender my will to thine. Let the works of my hands bring thee praise. Let the course of my life lead to thee. Make the Savior's example a pathway unto my feet. Help me weather the storms of this life and then find my way back to my home again. Let the course of my life lead to thee. Lead me to thee.
I'm your host, Neil deGrasse Tyson, your personal astrophysicist, and I got my co-host, Chuck. Nice, Chuck, baby.
Hey, what's happening, Neil?
All right. I bet you don't know what we're going to do today. This is a new thing we're doing today.
Uh-oh.
This is going to be a stuff you thought you knew, like a second installment of that.
Right.
We did this once before, and it really caught on, and people wanted a little more of that kind of action.
It's because people want to know.
They want to know.
They want to know more. More and more.
They want to know new stuff, plus if the old stuff they knew was wrong, they want to fix it. Usually, most of the time.
It's always the same two guys, man. It's always the same two guys. Do it again. Do it again.
To get vaccinated, to wear masks, to do social distancing, washing your hands all the time, and not just to think about, well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom.
You might be thinking, Mike, there's all these things you're ignoring. The earth is flat, the earth is flat, the earth is flat. Look, I don't care. I don't care. That's not the question of this stream. The question of this stream is, does the Bible declare and teach that the earth is flat? And I'm going to your verses, your chief verses, and I'm not done yet. I'm going to hit Daniel, and I'm going to hit the vision that Jesus had, or the experience with the temptation that Jesus had. We're going to hit that in a second. But I'm going to your verses to show you that the Bible is not your source for the flat earth. You're getting it somewhere else. You could say, well, ancient Near Eastern people, they believed it. Fine. But don't say the Bible's teaching it. Say they believed it. You could say, there's all this evidence. I have all this proof. I did these experiments. Fine, go ahead. But don't say the Bible's teaching it. Leave the Bible out of this. That's what I'm saying, man. Leave my Bible alone.
Humiliation.
The end.
Okay, just a quick video here on this James Webb launch today. It's Christmas Day 2021, and I just happened to see this from the Washington Post, I guess, covered this live, and let's just take a look. There's some interesting things here.
Alright, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour with the world's most powerful telescope. It started its million-mile voyage. It's 100 times more powerful than the Hubble and also 100 times more risky. The NASA, of course, is pretty happy with the launch, and the first part of the mission which had been delayed for several years, has actually indeed taken off.
Jim Green, you come to us as a planetary scientist from way back, and you're chief scientist at NASA, and you're retiring next year. Where will we go? What will we do? What are we gonna do? Oh my God! And wait, you're retiring right when the James Webb Space Telescope deploys. This is a little suspicious, if you ask me.
Now, the Ariane 5 rocket lifted off from the northeast coast of South America and has successfully placed itself into the orbit.
Decollage liftoff from a tropical rainforest to the edge of time itself. James Webb begins a voyage back to the birth of the universe.
Those are fun points to hang out in. I can imagine. I'm making this up, just spitballing here. NASA has a has a handyman mission. It's the handyman vehicle that goes out there, and you collect all the spacecraft that need all the space telescopes that need repair, and then it comes back. How about that?
We have confirmation of solid rocket booster separation from Jean-Luc Voyer. This coming at an altitude of 44 miles. Control center to Raphael Chevrier of Ariane Space. Raphael, so far so good.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a handyman mission. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll work on that, Jim.
We'll call it NASA's AAA.
AAA comes. Oh, you got a flat. You need a jump.
Well, you may need fuel. That's probably what you'll need.
I can't believe I locked myself out of my satellite.
That is now going to take us back in time. It's a time machine. It's going to take us back to the very beginnings of the universe.
Chevrier down in the fishbowl. So far so good.
Yes, Rob, we have the confirmation of the separation of the main stage and the ignition of the upper stage. The trajectory is perfectly nominal. This is
Okay, so let's take a look here.
We had the confirmation of the
Let's,
separation of the two stage boosters
And there we go. Duplicate clouds. How is that? How is it we get duplicate clouds? Why can't they just give us a picture of the Earth? And they're misleading. They're like, oh, this is live. Well, there you go. I mean, again, every time they use an Earth, it has duplicate clouds. All right, let's go on a little more.
Well, it's a time machine.
Yeah,
So
basically,
The further it looks, the further those objects are away, the further back in time we see them.
They're going to show us some more. Let's see what they got. Here we go. Let me pause everything. Pause that for a second. There you go. More duplicate clouds. Yeah, I can see the duplicate clouds. That's what I can see. Yes, magnification.
Where the impossible comes possible.
But is there a mode where it's just looking for nothing?
That's right, Neil. It's looking for nothing. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, saints. And welcome, 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 sinners, sinners, sinners. This is the Critical Christian Crowd. I am your laconic lay leader, Lon Linky. We are live from West Central Minnesota. Me, Margaret, and the Moose. So grab yourself a cup of coffee this morning. We're enjoying our last day of warmth here in Minnesota. The 3-day forecast, all the overnight lows in the negatives. The high Wednesday, without the wind blowing, is -4 degrees.
It's almost as cold as outer space.
Almost as cold as outer space. What's that you have on your head, Margaret? Oh, Lord. She's got a Trump hat on. I shouldn't say anything because I look like April LaJune this morning without the tattoos. So, good morning, Saints. Nice to see y'all in here. I hope you had a blessed and joyful, restful, peaceful Christmas day yesterday with your friends and your family. I wanted to thank all of you for joining myself and the KJV and Chris Bergen and the guests that weren't able to pick up the link in the unbelievable audio mess that we had yesterday. But, oh, the patience and faith of the saints. You stuck in there, you hung in there with a stinky old fisherman, and I thank you. I thank you. I had a lot of fun. It was the longest presentation we've ever done, longest offering, 2 hours. And, by the standards that we set here, it was a little off-kilter in the audio department. But, you got to endure. You learn lessons, and I learned more than a few yesterday. So thank you. I was grateful, and I was thankful, and I was blessed, and continue to be. Only by the grace of God go we. And I knew this was happening in the back of my brain, my gray matter yesterday, that NASA was going to be launching this James Webb satellite, telescope, whatever it is. I think we all know what it is. It's a bunch of monkey dung. That's exactly what it is. It's this. It's outer space, metaverse, monkey dung. Yeah, but anyway, they launched it on Christmas Day. Yeah. Didn't everybody, launch a rocket on Christmas Day? Remember how many employees they show you that are there at Mission Control, wherever Mission Control is in Houston? There's all those employees. They didn't get the day off. I wonder if they got double pay for launching the largest satellite telescope in the existence of mankind. Now, you have to ask yourself a question. Why would they do that? Why would they decide on Christmas Day that it would be a good idea to launch a satellite? It makes me wonder. I don't know. Maybe to give everyone a cosmic perspective instead of a biblical objective. Yeah, perhaps. What's that scripture that says that Lucifer will exalt the highest throne? That's his goal. That's his goal, to exalt God himself in heaven. So, it's another attempt by them boys over at NASA. Them everyone wants to grow up and be an astronaut boys over at NASA, trying to usurp God's authority on the day that at least we recognize as the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So, congratulations, NASA. You gave it another shot. You can't spell Santa Claus without NASA, and you can't spell Satan without NASA either. Highly imaginative organizations, all three of them. NASA, Santa, and Satan himself, who lives in people's imaginations. That's his playground. That's his haunt. That's his dwelling realm, is in your imagination. That's why it grieves my soul to hear pastors selling 20-part DVD series for $29.95 on, well, God wants you and your imagination. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. That's the last place he wants you. I remember a year ago, more than a year ago, we did this study on vain imaginations and the imagination. 69 verses. 69 passages of Scripture in the Bible referring to imagination, man's imagination, and vain imaginations. 68 of them were admonishments. Don't go there. Don't do that. Stay away from. All right? One was positive, and you know what it was? It was the one that we quote all the time. Capture every thought and give it to the obedience of Christ. capture every imagination and give it to the obedience of Christ. All the rest of them said, don't even go anywhere near your imagination. And when we get in trouble, that's where we get in trouble. We start listening to those thoughts in our brain. We start listening to what the devil is telling you in your head. Amazing. Amazing. Well, good morning, saints, again. Tony Forrester he must have his Bible out and ready. Psalm 115 and 16. That's a good one. That's a good one. And you're right. NASA's always doing this. And listen, that's why I say it grieves my soul. It grieves my heart to see what those pastors and Christian leaders are telling their congregants as to what a great deal NASA is and outer space and science, and from our boy John MacArthur to Mike Winger. And we talked about this yesterday. You can bring up almost every, what I call the 7 deadly truths that Christians don't believe. You can bring up almost every single one, and any fancy pants expositor will tell you, well, yeah, that's probably true. That's true. You bring up biblical cosmology, they freak all the way out because they don't believe the biblical description of heaven and earth. They don't believe it because they're university studied. They're Weisenheimers. They're smarty pants gangsters. That's exactly what they are. By the way, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I don't want to forget this. I hope everybody got their non sequitur doctrine in theoretical astrophysics with a hypothetical master's degree and morosophic philosophy. Yes, that's for everyone. But Wrenches of Love, the reason I couldn't find it was under a white panel. It wasn't under a black panel. So Wrenches of Love, here's your the day after Christmas present for you. It is a Heretic and Whore digital double-barreled shotgun of love. So I'm your Huckleberry. Good morning, Moose. Demon witch back there. I can't blame her, though. Most of yesterday's dilemma was all on me. So that's that. So to go over this intro again, I'm going to keep an eye on the clock. I've got p-Brane, and those of you who, well, I'm pretty sure that most of the saints of the Scripture know who p-Brane is, but he is a boy, and he's stepped his game up too, in regards to biblical cosmology. He's really stepped it up production-wise and presentation-wise. It's really good stuff. And he had put this out too on the James Webb Hubble House, Waffle House, whatever they're doing up there in their pretend outer space floatyville. And he captured all the CGI and the anomalies amongst the speeds and the distances that they were away from the Earth, the globe Earth. Telling everybody it was live. You can tell it's not live, it's an animation. And he just went in there and showed that where they had duplicated clouds. So I wanted to mention him straight away because he led off the intro and then closed it out too. And it was just a short piece, and I am going to play his piece too, but I don't think I have to play the intro over, although I might. Uncle Neil, he's just something else. I mean, seriously, after the job, the script writing job that I really wanted in NASA's script writing room, which I believe is on the 3rd floor, and then the 13th floor is hair, makeup, costume, props, and then up on the 66th floor is the actual international floatyville tuna can with all their CGI and harnesses and all that. But way down on the 3rd floor, or the 6th floor, whatever Illuminati number you want to use, these script writers are on it. I mean, they are on it. But old Uncle Neil, they've given old Uncle Neil carte blanche to mock and scoff NASA. And that to me is amazing. That's got to be the greatest job in the world. Because don't forget, saints, don't forget those sinners that might have snuck in. Don't forget, NASA knows, Neil knows. I'm not sure whether Chunk of Ice knows, Uncle Neil's sidekick. I think he's just, well, what time can I pick up my check on Friday? I think that's where he is, because he always seems frightened and amazed that Neil's going to discuss things. I know they give him lines to say and cues to say them, but I think for the most part he just might be completely out of the loop. Who knows? I don't know. I do know one thing, though. It's just amazing that they mock and scoff NASA. And we know that is what? As a controlled position of opposition. So if they mock and scoff NASA, everyone who wants to mock and scoff NASA goes, yeah, we know NASA's a little goofy over there, but Neil loves them. Neil loves them, so we love them too. But Neil made fun of NASA. Well, greater is he that is in us than he that is in this world. And we got some more questions for them boys at NASA. We got a whole lot of questions for them boys over there. First of all, they're building this James spiderweb satellite / telescope as 100 times more powerful than the Hubble, than the double Toil and Hubble telescope. Do you know how powerful that is? That's powerful. And my question is the same one that p-Brane had, but I want him to point it at the moon. Point it at the moon, and with that powerful magnetism, I want to see all the space crap that the Apollo boys left up there. They left flags everywhere, a couple of lunar rovers, some golf clubs, some golf balls. Buzz Aldrin's pecan, his poop bag. I want to see all that stuff. You can never. I remember somebody. I want to say it was dead Rob Skiba who said that he had gone to an observatory and asked them to focus the telescope in on the moon, since it was so powerful, and they were touting it as the single most powerful or one of the most powerful telescopes on the realm. And he wanted them to point it at the moon, and they said, "Oh no, we can't do that. We can't do that." Well, of course they can't do that. Of course they can't do that. You catch them in one of their big old lies. But that's nothing new. But it's all these anomalies, right? It's all these anomalies that they come up with. And I'm going to get to the fact that all the script writers and the copy that they're pushing forward on this James Webb, and you're going to hear a lot about it. They're all interested in time travel. They want to go back in time. They want to go forward in time. They want to do whatever nonsense they're doing at DARPA and CRISPR and CERN and everywhere else, and they want to bring it all together. So when the grand summoning comes, when the phoenix rises out of the ashes, they'll have not only your witness to it, our witness to it, but they'll have their explanations firmly planted. Where?
In your brain, in your noggin, in your skullduggery.
That's right. They will already have put it in your head that this James Webb Telescope satellite is a time machine. A time machine. Amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. I tell you what, I am going to play that intro again, because it's one of those things that if you don't listen close, you may miss it. You may just absolutely miss it. But I think they made reference to this being a time machine. Three different Einstein. That's not the German three. They made reference to it 3 different times. It's a time machine. No, it's not. There's no such thing as a time machine. As a matter of fact, time and space don't even exist. They're 2 intangible items. You can't have a bowl of time and a cup of space. You can't. They're constructs. They're imaginative, descriptive narratives of a mathematical equations. So anyway, let me get over these clowns, these clodhoppers that are playing their roles too. Bill Nelson, I can't remember where Bill Nelson is from. Is he from Idaho? I can't remember. Anyway, he's an old, crotchety, retired old senator, and he's probably been at the table of 150 for years. So they gave him old Jim Bridlestein's old job as the director of NASA, and this guy's just creepy. Bill Nelson is just creepy. And we all know that NASA has a heavy creepy factor when they shuffle out these fools, these absolute ridiculous fools. Michelle Thaler, remember her? Why are people talking about the Earth being flat? I don't understand it. There are thousands of proofs. Here's one, Eratosthenes. And then there's all these other, when the ship sails over the horizon, yeah, it just disappears over the curve of the Earth. That's it, Michelle? That's all I have. But why do people say the Earth is flat? I don't understand that. Okay, anyway. So Bill Nelson and then this retired NASA scientist guy, whatever his name is. And, of course, Uncle Neil has carte blanche to say, that sounds suspicious. Listen, Neil, everything NASA does sounds suspicious. It looks suspicious. It smells suspicious. And I'm sure if you put your tongue on one of their phony baloney aluminum helium-filled rocket ships, it'd taste funny too. Anyway, let me go ahead and play the intro again, because it is a good intro. It's not very long. So if you already saw it and you don't want to watch it again, go get a cup of coffee, all right? There we go. I'll put it full screen for you.
Okay, just a quick video here on this James Webb launch today. It's Christmas Day 2021, and I just happened to see this from the Washington Post, I guess, covered this live, and let's just take a look. There's some interesting things here.
All right, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking and beyond at this hour with the world's most powerful telescope. It started its million-mile voyage. It's 100 times more powerful than the Hubble and also 100 times more risky. The NASA, of course, is pretty happy with the launch, and the first part of the mission, which had been delayed for several years, has actually indeed taken off.
Jim Green, you come to us as a planetary scientist from way back, and you're chief scientist at NASA, and you're retiring next year. Where will we go? What will we do? What are we gonna do? Oh my God! And wait, you're retiring right when the James Webb Space Telescope deploys. This is a little suspicious, if you ask me.
Yeah, he thought it was a little suspicious too. They all have a good
The
giggle.
Ariane 5 rocket lifted off from the northeast coast of South America and has successfully placed itself into the orbit.
It blasted off from a launch facility in northeast South America, in a rainforest.
Those are fun points to hang out in. I can imagine. I'm making this up, just spitballing here. NASA has a has a handyman mission. It's the handyman vehicle that goes out there and you collect all the spacecraft that need all the space telescopes that need repair, and then it comes back. How about that?
How about that, Neil?
Confirmation of solid rocket booster separation from Jean-Luc Voyer. This coming at an altitude of 44 miles. Control center to Raphael Chevrier of Ariane
44 miles, that's not outer space.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a handyman mission. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll work on that. Jim?
We'll call it NASA's AAA.
AAA comes in. Oh, you got a flat. You need a jump.
Well, you may need fuel. That's probably what you'll need.
I can't believe I locked myself out of my satellite.
That is now going to take us back in time. It's a time machine. It's going to take us back to the very beginnings of the universe.
Chevrier down in the fishbowl. So far, so good.
Yes, Rob, we have the confirmation of the separation of the main stage
Yeah, in a fishbowl.
and the ignition
They
of
used the
the
fishbowl
upper
reference
stage.
again.
The trajectory is perfectly nominal. This is
Okay, so let's take a look here.
We had the confirmation of the
Let's,
separation of the two side boosters, and
And there we go. duplicate clouds. How is that? How is it we get duplicate clouds? Why can't they just give us a picture of the Earth? And they're misleading. They're like, oh, this is live. Well, there you go. I mean, again, every time they use an Earth, it has duplicate clouds. All right, let's go on a little more.
Well, it's a time machine.
Yeah,
So
basically,
The further it looks, the further those objects are away, the further back in time we see them.
They're going to show us some more. Let's see what they got. Here we go. Let me pause everything. Pause that for a second. There you go. More duplicate clouds. Yeah, I can see the duplicate clouds. That's what I can see.
Yeah, and look in the top right corner. It's NASA live. That's a live shot.
Yes, magnificent.
That's right. A magnificent deception. A magnificent deception. Exactly.
Where the impossible comes possible.
But is there a mode where it's just looking for nothing?
Creepy, creepy, and creepy. They always have been. They always will be. That's NASA. So thank you for suffering madly. I did pull up the cost of the old Hubble OUTTA SPACE Floatyville telescope. And you're not going to believe the numbers on this thing, Saints. You're just not going to believe this. And my question is, where's the Hubble? Were they just going to let it blow away or float away or take it out of orbit or save the fuel? Or I don't know. They're not talking about that. Or if they are, I haven't heard about it. What are they going to do with this thing?
Why would you ask what they're going to do with the Hubble spaceship telescope satellite?
Well, that's a good question, Margaret. You know why I'm asking? Because the total price tag of the Space Telescope satellite Hubble, drum roll please, $10 billion. This is from tellmehomuch.net. The cost of the Hubble Space Telescope have been estimated between $1.5 to $2.1 billion, counting all the repairs and fixes since it was put in orbit in 1990. Now, don't get too crazy with thinking that this is 30-year-old technology, because it gets even worse. Counting all the repairs and fixes since it was put in orbit 1990, the total expense is around circa $10 billion. Listen to this. The origin and development. The development of the space telescope, Hubble, took 12 years. So it took them 12 years to build. They began in 1978 and ended in 1990. So it's not 1990s technology. It's late 1970s, 1980s technology. So you're telling me that in the 1980s they had that kind of technology and it worked perfectly for 40 years, or at least 30 years from its launch in 1990 up until 2021. Really? Really? In a 10 to the minus 17 torr vacuum, spinning around at 5 different directions and in 4 different at 4 different speeds, and it's sending back data perfectly. It's just a mess. When you look into this nonsense that they're throwing at everybody, at best, if they were doing it, and I think we all know, whatever they're calling the Hubble, I think it's the Sophia plane that just flies around and takes some pictures of stars. That's all it does. And then they bring it back down to the scriptwriter's room and then they go hog wild. But anyway, what a mess. I mean, that's just a big fat outer space Floatyville tin can nonsense mess. a nest of mess. Yeah, there's all this. Yeah, that's amazing, though. 10 billion. Who knows how much this James Webb new one that they just launched yesterday on Christmas Day, who knows how much it cost? I'm pretty sure it was over $1 billion, because if the one they launched in 1990 cost them, what did they say, 1.5 to 2.1 billion, I'm pretty sure in 2020. So where does all this money come from? If they were actually building something like that, could you imagine putting an investment of let's say it costs $5 billion to make, $5 billion, strapping it to one of these rocket ships that might blow up? Wow. And like I've always asked, who underwrites something like that? What insurance company would underwrite a $5 billion investment strapped to the biggest possibility for explosion? Got to use your thinking caps, folks. You got to use your noggin. So anyway, that was that on there. And yeah, I didn't know that NASA had a launch facility down in South America. Did you? I didn't. So not only are they working on Christmas, they're working in South America, and it was right next to a rainforest, or in a rainforest. Wow. Where are all the crazy PETA people, the tree-hugging people, all the environmentalists? No.
You can't touch outer space and the outer space people. They're untouchable. They can do whatever they want to do, and they're everywhere. And every small child wants to grow up and be an astronaut. And you're a stupid, dumb man.
Well, there you heard it from the Trump hat wearing demon witch herself, the ceramic cookie jar of death. Take that stupid hat off. Politicians. Yeah, don't forget.
I wore that hat because Donald Trump gave us Space Force, so you give me my hat back.
I'm not giving you your hat back. All right, so there we go. Sorry about that. I got a little carried away. Having too much fun this morning. Way too much fun this morning. Yeah, that's it. And just a reminder, too, and the reason I put this background up here, those aren't all spaceship, contrail, space rocket trails in the sky. No, we all know what those are, too, right? And when you look hard at NASA's rocket testing facilities, they're blowing all this mess straight up into the air. I'd call it atmosphere, but that doesn't exist. They're blowing it up into the breathable air that we have. Now, what are they doing with it from there? Well, I would suggest to you, and I don't know. I would suggest someone look into it. There's a geoengineeringwatch.org at the bottom of this one. I would suggest any geoengineering watch group, you might be able to find some information on the who, what, where, when, and why the skies are always gray. And it's an interesting concept, too, to think that as they're pushing solar energy, right? Solar energy and wind energy and electric power, at least the solar energy stuff, well, that goes into straight contradiction against their solar shielding. So are we to assume that the sun is not going to shine, but we're going to pour in more billions into solar farms? That doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. 144,000 acres in Mississippi. NASA's rocket testing facility, where they just keep blowing out all those, as our good friend Mike Morales would call it, particulates, the fuel cell bunker emissions, the aerial chemicals, they blow them out, and then they rise up. And then do they manipulate them? I don't know. It's a good question to ask, though. It really is a good question to ask. Anyway, That's that. It's weather modification. Yeah, and the other little anomalies that I picked up on in that intro, and then I'll run p-Brane's thing here too. Oh, look, we're at double digits. Nice. Yeah, they called it a fishbowl from where they were on the ground, mission control. And you didn't get Houston American mission control. You got a bunch of people with the accent from here, and the douchina, and the batina, écoutez, s'il vous plaît, Macedon. Who are these people? Who are these people? It's ridiculous. I don't know where the launch center was. They showed a little bottom panel of them, but we don't know. South America? Wow. Wow. This whole South America Germany connection, and now how America once again has its muddied little fingers in this mess, seems wildly coincidental to me. Maybe I'm taking too much of a leap, but I doubt it. Anyway, they called it a fishbowl. Now, here from the fishbowl. What do you mean, the fishbowl with the level water where no one can get out? Yeah. It sounds wildly reminiscent to Operation Fishbowl, which my father was a part of in Johnston Island in the Pacific when they were blowing nukes straight up, trying to blow a hole in the firmament. Yeah. My dad was a helicopter pilot for the Marine Corps, picking up debris and data out of the ocean. And they blew up a lot of nukes trying to get through the firmament. They never got through. Amazing. So, yeah, and during their description of how fast this rocket ship is going, and we're now at an altitude of 44 miles. What is that supposed to sound impressive? That's nothing. And you're going this fast? Plus, our pitch angle is right on nominal. Its pitch angle is good. Well, I don't care what your pitch angle is. If you're trying to get to outer space and you're going 17,000 miles an hour, with the curvature of the Earth bending away from you, as you tell us it is, you ought to be in outer space in 45 seconds. No. And they graphed it for the media people as a 27-mile ride to space. It said on the banner of the World is One network out of India. Jeez, I can't believe this is surrealistic. The Slurpee machine is broken at the 27-mile ride out to outer space. 27 miles? Well, they just told you they were 44 miles. Which one is it? What a mess. And they keep talking about saving fuel, which I guess is a climate change, global warming, we are the world cuckoo-cachoo environmental thing to do. Well, NASA's saving fuel. What? What do you mean they're saving fuel? And they're saving the booster rockets. So they're good people. Okay. Believe what you want. Believe what you want. Well, because it's as cold as it is here in west central Minnesota, excuse me, my old fancy NASA broadcasting machine is losing power rapidly. I started at 50% and it's at 16 already, so I might have to cut this one short. Let me go to the p-Brane clip here real quick, and then we'll go into the chat. We may wrap this one up early. So a little bit, some of this is redundant, but it's worth another look too. And this is, listen, if you don't know p-Brane, you've got a great channel on YouTube, and he's been around forever. And his channel is packed full of proofs. NASA's tomfoolery and nonsense. So once again, you don't have to listen to me. Search things out on your own. Go where you need to go. So let's take a listen to this thing real quick. All right, there we go.
Okay, just a quick video here on this James Webb launch today. It's Christmas Day 2021, and I just happened to see this from the Washington Post. I guess covered this live, And let's just take a look. There's some interesting things here.
You can see also on the yellow line.
Okay, so let's take a look here.
We had the confirmation of the
Let's,
separation of the two solid clusters
And there we go. Duplicate clouds. How is that? How is it we get duplicate clouds? Why can't they just give us a picture of the Earth? And they're misleading. They're like, oh, this is live. Well, there you go. I mean, again, every time they use an Earth, it has duplicate clouds. All right, let's go on a little more. Move this ahead. Watch that garbage. Okay, here they go back. They're going to show us some more. Let's see what they got. Here we go. Let me pause everything. Pause that for a second. There you go. More duplicate clouds. Yeah, I can see the duplicate clouds. That's what I can see. Yes, magnification. Okay, that's all. I just wanted to show you that. And just more fakery, more fake. I mean, come on. If they're out there in space, get a camera and shoot pictures of the Earth. Why do I have to? Why do you have duplicate clouds? That makes no sense. All right, everybody. Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.
And thank you very much to p-Brane. And we all know what's happening. They're going up, out, and down. What goes up must come down. Doesn't have anything to do with gravity. It's just simple up, down, up, down. You throw a rock in the air, it comes back down. You throw a rocket in the air, it comes back down. There is no outer space. That's it. And boy, oh boy, you want to drive your family crazy? Say that at Christmas dinner. I don't say that anymore. I ask people if they believe in outer space. And when they say, well, of course I believe in outer space. Why? You ain't ever going. And you don't know anybody who went there. And if you've never been there and you don't know anybody that's gone there, you got to question the reality of that. Somebody tells me that they caught a purple and green unicorn fish. Show me some sort of cartoon rendering of it. I've got to question my own sanity if I say, oh, okay. Listen, if things sound too fantastical, like a time machine, these guys are out of control. Anyway, it's my hope, it's my prayer that people will come to their senses. And I don't care about the non-believers. I mean, I care about them. But my first concern is the heliocentric Christians, because I think we all know what's coming down the parkway. And when guys like Mike Morales and Jim from Climate Viewer start seeing these aliens, they can say demons all they want as Christians. So, well, those aliens, they're demons. But when they come in their spaceships and they start walking around and laser beaming people, they're all in on outer space, folks. They'll tell you they're all in on outer space. They will walk away from the love and grace of Jesus in a New York second. They'll run away from it.
That sounds like the apostasy.
Yeah, it sure does, doesn't it? Starting to sound like a combination of Sesame Street and the Babylon Bee. I don't know what we're doing. I got to say goodbye. All right. Double digits in the old Chatteroonsky. Tony, I tell you what, he's putting that old double-barreled shotgun right to use, isn't he? God bless you, young man. Don't shoot the women, though. I'm in big enough problems with God's natural order with the ladies. Don't go shooting women who come into the live chat. If you have to, check the link to make sure it's a disgusting, filthy whore invitation before you blow them out of our live chat room. Most of them are, but I trust you guys. That's why you're wrenches of love. I trust you in there. All right. Thank you, Tony. Thank you very much. Promise kept. Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to figure a way to report. Listen, when I get these things or when I see them, I report them straight to YouTube. I just report them. And then I think YouTube will delete them, but it's amazing that they suppress my numbers or Pastor Dean's numbers, eliminate, cancel people, take them off. But they let the digital whores, run free. What? Well, we can do our part. Mrs. E, nice to see you in there this morning, young lady. Hope you had a good Christmas. Well, there it is. Millicent. Okay. Say no to Soylent Green Eggs and Ham OG. Hope you had a Merry Christmas, my friend. Yeah. Sour Apples, nice to see you in there this morning. Gary Towner. I got to quit calling you guys the usual suspects. That's not a good term. Familiar countries, allies to the fishermen. Jen A is in there. Yeah, she's been in here before. You know, she's like me. Believe me, I love the capital fonts because I have a hard time reading them too, so I get it. Nice to have you here, Jen. Nice to have you here. That's right. The Bible does call the moon the lesser light. And listen, we can always be calm in the knowledge. We can be restful and peaceful in our understanding that the biblical description of heaven and earth is that the sun is the light that rules the day, and the moon is the lesser light that rules the night, and the stars are the illuminaries. That's what the Bible describes them as, lights, not rocks or gaseous balls of radiation. Someone else had mentioned a comment about that. Well, they can't get through the radiation. The firmament is the radiation. That's why they can't get through it. So everything else is a lie. All right. There we go. All right, Gary Towner's in there. Yeah. It is the allies of old FU, Fisherman University, and the old fisherman in the box. And I thank you much, and I love you dearly. And there's our lady from Spain making a late arrival. We'll throw her up there on the board. Acknowledge her. You're never late. You're always right on time. All right. So let's wrap this one up. I better get that off there. Again, I wanted to thank everybody, especially the KJV, for yesterday. She was wonderful. What a blessing it is to have her as a dear sister in the faith. And I talked to her this morning, and she was giddy that she was back on the program, and she missed all of you, and it was great to see all of you again. And there was a lot of love yesterday, and thank you for that. Thank you very much. It was very, very fun. Fun. All right. Well, I guess we're going to get this, we'll get rid of all those contrails. They disappear. They dissipate. That's just oxygen and water in the sky, and it just dissipates at those altitudes. It comes out because it's so cold up there, and that oxygen and water dissipates and disappears after a few miles. Yeah, really? Come fishing on the dock with me one day. We'll watch how they don't dissipate at all. No, they spread out and block the sun. Enough said. Now I'm just rambling. All right. Here we go. Wonder if I'm going to be able to do this correctly today. I hope so. You know, you could help a little bit, Margaret. May the peace, joy. You got anything to add there, Moose? Tough to get a word out of him edgewise. All right. May the peace, love, joy, grace, and understanding of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ be with you this day and every day. God bless you, saints. I love you. Take care.
This train is bound for glory, this train.
I'm your Huckleberry.
This train is bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory. Nobody ride it but the righteous and the holy. This train is bound for glory, this train. This train don't care no gamblers, this train. This train don't care no gamblers, this train. This train don't care no gamblers, no crap shooters and the midnight ramblers. This train don't care no gamblers, this train.
You know this train don't care no jokers, this train. This old train, it don't care no jokers, this train. This old train, it don't care no jokers, no high-tone women, them cigar smokers, this train. I'm talking about God's train.
Yeah, this train is bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory. Nobody ride it but the righteous and the holy. This train is bound for glory, this train.
This train don't care no liars, this train. This train don't care no liars, this train. This train don't care no liars, no slow walkers, midnight flyers. This train don't care no liars, this train.
Let me tell you, fellas, this train is the last train, this train. You hear me say this train is the last train, this train. This old train is the last train to get on board. She ain't coming back again. Cause this train is the last train, this train.
This train is bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory. Nobody riding but the righteous and the holy. This train is bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory, this train. This train is bound for glory. Nobody riding but the righteous and the holy. This train is bound for glory, this train.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly. Like, we'd have way better CGI if it was
Take
fake.
care of fishermen in a box.
Yeah.